On this week's Most Craved, Constantine hits Arrow Season 4.
Bill Murray returns to Ghostbusters, but maybe not as Peter Venkman.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Hey, I'm Darren Bousman and I'm in the studio.
Whee!
Hey guys, welcome to Most Craved. I'm Jenna Bush with Legion of Leia.
I'm Silas Lesnick with ComingSoon.net.
I'm William Bibiani with Crave Online, and we are here with Darren Lynn Bousman.
Yes.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, a little tired. Had a premiere last night for a movie I'm working on, or I just did. And
What a coincidence.
I know, right? What are the odds?
Tell us about this film.
It's called Alleluia, The Devil's Carnival, and it is a sequel to the 2012 film I made called The Devil's Carnival, which is a weird rock opera, kind of culty, campy, with David Hasselhoff in it.
And he can sing.
He can sing, and I'm really excited because I have like idols, like my idols in it, which is pretty awesome. Like, did you ever see Jesus Christ Superstar? Like
I was in Jesus Christ Superstar.
I was in the play too.
Oh my God, who did you play?
I was an apostle.
Nice.
Yeah, but I cast Ted Neely, the original Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. Barry Bostwick from Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh my God.
Adam Pascal from Rent. So I've gotten like the Broadway, like who's who. Emily Autumn is a fantastic singer. So it's just this weird hodgepodge and mishmash of insane, crazy people.
I love how your career's evolved because a lot of people know you from the Saw movies.
Yeah.
And then you just sort of like, you know what? I'm going to finally bridge that gap between musical theater kids and horror geeks.
Because they are the same audience, right?
In some
they-
respects.
some of them are. I am.
Well, where did is that just, do you just fall into that, or was that like a
No,
plan?
you know what's crazy is people ask me how I went from doing horror to doing this. It's actually the other way. I started in musicals and I fell into horror because I went to school and I majored in theater. And the first things I did when I came out to Los Angeles was actually directed musical theater. And then that wasn't paying the bills, so I wrote a script, and the script was just me being angry, which was called The Desperate, which is literally just my social commentary on my life at the time. And The Desperate became Saw 2, and at that time I was a little more cocky and arrogant. I said, you can't have the script unless I'm directing it, and they laughed at me, and I took the script away. And then they eventually said yes, and that The Desperate then became changed, the title became changed to Saw 2, and that was before Saw was Saw, and next thing I know I'm directing horror films.
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
kind of awesome.
So it's crazy, but yeah, I mean, it was, doing Saw 2, 3, and 4. It's an awesome. I mean, it's like riding the best roller coaster first at an amusement park. Everything else kind of fails in comparison because you're literally driving down Sunset Boulevard and you see billboard, bus stop ad, commercials on the TV and on the radio, and I'm like, oh, this is what filmmaking's like. This is what it's like to be a director. And then you do another movie like Repo, where it's put in like a theater and there's no publicity, no P&R. And you realize, oh shit, I just went from.
You're fine.
Okay, good.
You're fine.
Okay.
It's okay. It's the internet.
Yeah, I went from literally being at this top roller coaster ride to riding like the bumper cars, and
Yeah.
and it was this insane experience. So
Is that why your films now are about carnivals?
it is, and you know what's crazy is that like I became so disillusioned with being a filmmaker. Now that I can cuss on here, I'm going to take advantage of that. I said,
What have we unleashed?
I had movie after movie after movie go straight to video, and I said, fuck this. This is not the way it has to be as an artist. You can change it if you want to. So myself and our team of people said, let's four-wall all these theaters. Let's literally call every single theater and four-wall them. So we four-walled 60 cities, and we put out information. Guys, we're taking this thing, The Devil's Carnival, to this city, to this city, to this city. And people started showing up, and we turned it into a sideshow. We brought carnival dance. We brought like clowns and carnival barkers and burlesque dancers and R-rated people that would make like naked balloon animals, and we made it this crazy fun experience. And we turned.
How do you make them naked? Do you give them nipples?
Well, we had no. Let me go back. We had
Okay.
we had clowns that were in like next to nothing, face painted, like literally wearing like next to nothing, and they would make like two people having sex. They'd give them like big penises and stuff. So it's not the clown you want to bring to your kid's birthday party. But what's fun is it gives people a reason.
Don't tell me how to raise my kids.
I know.
I
have an 8-month-old kid now, and I'm realizing that I'm really screwing him up at like a very early age. But I'm just like, for me, it was just like, I knew that I could still get my movies in theaters, and they could still have an audience, and you just had to change the way you thought of filmmaking. So us was, let's make the theater a carnival. Let's literally make it an old traveling carnival show that we show up on a Monday, and then we go to another stop on Tuesday, Wednesday, so we're one night only. And what's cool about that is it creates an energy in the theater that it's like a movie premiere in every city, and you never know what you're going to get. You could get an X-rated clown on this day, and you could get a sword-swallowing little person on this day, and this day it's a carnival barker who juggles dildos on this day. You never know what it's going to be. And that became kind of the kind of inspiration behind these Devil's Carnival. And you get the movie, which features all those amazing people I just talked about.
Does David Hasselhoff juggle the dildos?
Dildos,
at some point?
absolutely.
Okay,
Don't ask dumb questions.
I would be there for that. That's
Yeah.
This is my favorite episode of the show.
Good.
I'm
I'm
gonna say
glad.
this right now.
I'm
I
glad.
really like this one.
When you talk
A
about
lot.
juggling dildos and David Hasselhoff,
Right?
I will tell you the best David Hasselhoff story that at least for me. So I didn't know the guy. I was a fan of him, and I called him and I said, listen, I've got this weird, crazy musical, and you're going to sing in it. And he was game, and he's like, great, I'll be there on whatever day we were filming. David Hasselhoff shows up, and I grew up watching this guy. I mean, he's like an idol, too. And he shows up, and when he gets out of the car, he's wearing a mask of himself. So he has a David Hasselhoff mask on, and he goes, ha ha, the Hoff has arrived. And he takes the mask off. And like that was my introduction to David Hasselhoff. He is my favorite. I can't tell you how much I love this guy.
See, if I did that, you guys would just think I was a dork. But
if
when the Hoff does it, yeah.
it's okay.
Hoff.
It's okay.
Okay.
So yeah, we start next week.
Okay.
Going across the United States, and every night we're in a different city. Every stop is a different opening act and crazy. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah.
And you get to see the movie, and the movie is a feature-length musical starring those great people I just mentioned.
So are you do you even have time to keep up with the whole news story angle? Would you even have any idea what we're talking about?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
no, I do. He's coming back in Ghostbusters. They just announced Beetlejuice 2. Constantine, which was canceled, is now coming back in is it Arrow is coming back on?
Arrow season
Yeah.
4.
Arrow is coming back on. I only know that because you guys all just said it.
Oh,
No, I
right,
do.
right.
I know.
Oh,
No,
right.
I do. I read every morning. I wake up and I read what's going on. But you know what's crazy? I do now. My attention span is so short. I only get my news on Twitter. So if you guys can say it in like 40 characters, I get it. After that, I just tune out.
Well, and that's less because now we have to tag you on Twitter. So
Exactly.
It's like
It's
Darren
true.
Lynn Bousman.
It's
I
true.
know.
Then we have like 98 letters.
One of
Yeah.
the weird things about this, though, is just, and it's interesting coming from Saw, which is a franchise that's built so heavily on continuity.
Yeah.
That you have films taking place during other films, and
Yeah.
everything ties together. And it's the same
Yeah.
universe, per se.
Yeah.
That's sort of reinforced with Constantine coming to Arrow, and yet Bill Murray in Ghostbusters, it's nice to see him because he's part of the other franchise, but there's no internal
Yeah.
continuity.
Hasn't he been for like the last 10 years? Like, I'm not doing it. Screw those guys.
Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah,
he
coming
was
back.
the one
much.
holding it up. They were like,
Yeah.
the studio was like, we'll do it with Bill Murray, and Bill Murray was like, apparently, story goes, he never even bothered to read the script. Like, he didn't care. And now he's doing Ghostbusters, and I'm like, hey.
Yeah, we should explain exactly what's happening. He's going to cameo in the Ghostbusters movie, but we don't believe he'll be Peter Venkman. He's supposed to be. I don't know if this is confirmed.
It's a lot of it's speculation.
Yeah, yeah.
He and Dan Aykroyd as well
Yeah.
are both reportedly have filmed cameos. Bill Murray was spotted on the set.
He debunks supernatural stuff apparently. Well, that's weird. I want to see him as Peter Venkman.
Kind of what Venkman did in the second one when he had that TV show.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's true.
So aliens visited you at the Holiday Inn, Paramus. Yeah.
I'm still hoping there's some level of continuity. And is anybody
Yeah.
reading the Ghostbusters Get Real comic book miniseries?
I haven't yet. I'm dying to actually.
It's a crossover between like the movie Ghostbusters and the real Ghostbusters. And there's
Wait,
actually
it's like a crossover, like they're different universes?
different universes. And there's actually a panel where like there's these ghosts. It's a 2-page spread, and the ghosts are walking between dimensions, and you see these pools, and like one of the pools is like a Ghostbusters video game, and they even have the old Filmation Ghostbusters with the
that's
ape.
amazing.
Oh, that's
So
fine.
it's like, oh, in the comics you have this wonderful like multiverse, and I hope they don't just throw that away with the movie.
Yeah, I hope so too. 'Cause
Yeah.
Peter Venkman. He's amazing.
I love his. I aspire to be as badass as this guy who literally like is impossible to get a hold of. He's got like a fax machine and that's all he uses. And he shows at people's wedding and like becomes a bartender because he just doesn't give a fuck. He does not care.
He just appears
He's
at
the
parties.
kind of guy that would juggle the dildos that we were talking about earlier because he
would.
doesn't care. He just doesn't care.
Well, you should
And that
get him.
I should.
Bill, we know you're watching.
Yeah.
We know you comment regularly. I'm sorry, I'm fat.
If you want to juggle dildos, I'm the guy to call, right?
Darren.
That is maybe
Right
the best
here.
line I've heard all
I
week.
know.
There you go. That's fantastic. I love this this episode. I must say, I'm worried about the Constantine thing, though.
So for if you guys don't know yet, Constantine, which was obviously canceled, it will appear again. Matt Ryan will be back as Constantine in episode 5 of season 4 of Arrow.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting thing because the styles are slightly different.
Well, do you remember when they canceled Millennium and then they brought Frank Black onto the X-Files for like one episode to wrap everything up, and it wrapped nothing up and it totally sucked? That's what I'm worried about. Silas is nodding very intently.
Millennium's one of my favorite series of all time, and like it even has a great series finale, but then the X-Files episode is so awful.
Yeah, it really just takes everything away from Millennium, and it's like, oh yeah, and everything. It turns out there was like this one corpse in like a small town.
It was like the zombies,
it was zombies.
Yeah, sure.
I
Wow,
don't even.
that's going to be a ringtone for someone.
I don't know. I
Giant
think it's
wolf
really
man?
cool. I like the idea of building a TV universe.
Yeah.
And it's something that can strengthen a number of brands.
Right.
It's weird that we have several DC shows in different networks now, and now Supergirl's on another network that
Yeah.
they say won't cross over and actually is on the same time as Gotham.
I still predict they can just go multiverse with this, but I don't know. Like I remember how successful it was when Manimal crossed over into Nightman, and everyone was like, "Oh man, Manimal!" We remember. No one remembers.
I
that?
watched it.
Okay,
I did.
you remember Manimal?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Manimal? The guy. He was a man, but he was also animals. It was really cool. But
I
there's
don't-
also
I don't know.
Still,
There's
still
al-
lost.
there's also going to be another Beetlejuice, which we all thought would be.
Oh, but you know what? I have to. No, all right. I'm excited for Beetlejuice.
Okay.
It's weird because normally when people are like, "Oh, we're gonna bring back this movie from so many years ago," I'm like, "Oh, please don't, please don't, please don't." This time, I'm actually excited about it.
Yeah.
I think it actually sounds cool. Winona Ryder has confirmed that she is involved in it.
I miss her.
I do too.
She's great. I grew up on Winona Ryder, man. I learned how to make an American quilt from that woman.
That's not where I thought that sentence was going.
And I love that. I want her back, and I want it to be good. You?
Well, I do, but I have a really funny side story about Winona Ryder, which makes me happy. This is going to make you happy as well. So I had been in LA maybe 3-4 weeks, and I got arrested. And I was arrested on Sunset Boulevard, right next to the Hustler store. And I mean, I'm talking full-on handcuffs put on, thrown in the back of a wagon. And the reason I was arrested was when I came out here, I was a black belt, and I had nunchucks. And they were in my trunk. And so when they pulled me over, they said, "We have a reasonable cause to search your vehicle." And I was like, I don't care. Like, I wasn't hiding anything. Next thing I know, they put the handcuffs on me, and they charged me with concealment of a deadly weapon. Now, I'm freaking out. Like, I've just come to LA. I hadn't even unpacked my car yet, and I'm in the West Hollywood jail. So I'm in there, and this is like the 2 days before Thanksgiving. They were going to send me to county. This is true. They were going to send me to county. And I literally break down crying. Like, I was bawling and sobbing. I was like, please don't send me to county. And long story short, about 40 hours later, 36 hours later, I get let out. They let me go on my own recognizance. And then they said, but here's your court date, and you have to arrive on this date, and you're facing 6 months in jail. And I was like, it's nunchucks. And by the way, they were the foam rubber ones, too. They weren't even the real cool ones. So I show up to court, and my court date is with Winona Ryder. She was in the thing.
Oh,
From the original thing back in 2000 and
Yeah.
don't you like shoplift from like a Tower Records or something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah,
I don't remember where it was
allegedly.
from, but yeah.
I had a crush on her then. I still do now. I was
right.
like, yeah. So that's my.
Did you
that's
make
my-
your? Was that your chance? Did you make your move?
Yeah, that's not the place you make a move when you're like, hey,
She's there
hey.
too.
I'm looking.
gonna judge you?
I'm looking at 6 months in the clink. How
For
about
being
you?
a ninja.
I know.
You won.
Yeah, that could have been the opening line. Hey, I don't know if you
true.
know this, but I'm kind of a ninja. That's why I'm here.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, thank you for watching Most Craved. Where's the first couple of stops of Alleluia Devil's Carnival?
We
Where can we see it?
start off in Tucson. We go from Tucson to New Mexico to Dallas. We basically go everywhere. If it's in a big city, we're probably going to be there. And I think what's cool, at least for me, is I've kind of lost the magic of going to movies. The last time I had a really good time was something like Mad Max the movies, because the audience is into it and it's exciting. But most movies are kind of lame. You just sit there and you watch and you're quiet and then you leave and you talk about the film. I miss the time of going to the movies being events, that there's something special about them. And we try to do in all these road stores to make them special, buy, again, these weird opening acts and the MC. And it's like a lively, rowdy, it's a cross between a live concert and a movie. And so we're pretty much everywhere. We start the tour. You can look on devilscarnival.com and see all the road stores we're going. And we're constantly adding new cities as well.
All right, everybody, check it out. Come back next week for more Most Craved and follow us on Twitter. Let us know what you think about all the stuff.